chapter, the 13th verse, and then we're going to go to Leviticus, the 11th chapter, and the 44th verse. 1 Peter chapter 13, verse, and then we're going to go back to the Old Testament to Leviticus 11 and 44. Amen. And that's a blessing.
Yeah.
You can't make it to after the Lord get to hear the word of God. Amen. You might have no excuse after a while.
I know that's right.
After a while, you ain't gonna have no excuse. Amen. Well, we ain't got no excuse now, to be honest. So go with me now. You there, the first Peter. First chapter 13, verse, you find these words recorded. It says, therefore, prepare your minds for action. Keep sober in spirit. Fix your hope completely on the grace to be brought to you at the revelation of Jesus Christ. As obedient children, do not be conformed to the former lust, which was yours in your ignorance.
Okay, now.
But like the Holy One who called you, be holy yourselves also in all your behavior. Because it is written, you shall be holy, for I am holy. Amen. And flip back over to Leviticus 11:44. It says, for I am the Lord your God. Consecrate yourselves, therefore, and be holy, for I am holy. And you shall not make yourselves unclean with any of the swarming things that swarm on the earth. Thank God for the readers, hearers, and doers of this mighty word. You may see it in the presence of the Lord. Let us pray, Father God. We thank you. We thank you for this day. We thank you for you just being God. We thank you for choosing us for salvation. We thank you for your grace. We thank you for your mercy. As we just have a spirit of thanksgiving. Now at this time that you have ordained for the holy word to go forth, we ask that you just clear our minds from any thoughts, any negativity, anything that's trying to come up against your word, Father God. That we may hear and we receive, Father God. May the power of your Holy Spirit allow your word to marinate in our hearts, in our minds, in our souls, Father God. That we not just be hearers, but we be doers of your word, that we receive it and believe it and put it into action. Thank you for all that is here, Father. But most of all, we just pray that you be glorified on this day, out of this message, Father God. Please receive your glory. I pray for these things in Jesus' name. Amen. Amen. Brothers and sisters, the book of Leviticus, God gives specific requirements for Israel in regards to different offerings that they are to present to him, offerings, the peace offering, burnt offering, the sin offering, the trespass offering. And God also gives them requirements on food that they are permitted to eat and food that they are forbidden to eat. God also gives them requirements about not touching anything unclean or eating unclean animals. Now understand the requirements God has set for Israel were to be followed exactly. There were no deviations from his plan. There were no deviations from his requirements that he gave the children of Israel. But God's requirements were much deeper than just not touching or eating unclean animals or just giving offerings as he has specified. God was using clean and unclean distinctions to separate Israel from idolatrous nations who had no such restrictions. Right. Now, and he was showing by these strict requirements that his people must learn to live his way. Let me say that again. That his people must learn to live his way. Sacrifices, rituals, diet, and even clothing and cooking were all carefully ordered by God to teach them that they were to live differently from everyone else. John MacArthur explains it this way. He said the people are to be holy in outward ceremonial behavior as an external expression of the greater necessity of heart holiness. The connection between ceremonial holiness carries over into personal holiness. Yes. You see, God really was not interested in the ceremonies, but he was really interested in their hearts being clean. And the outward showing of the ceremonies was symbolic of their heart being totally dedicated to him. Now, in Peter's first epistle here, he quotes and finds his foundation and source from the same verse in Leviticus as part of his instructions to the Christians on how to live before God. Right here in 1 Peter 1:15, he says, but like the Holy One who called you, be holy yourselves also in all your behavior, because it is written, you shall be holy, for I am holy. And Peter just simply quotes from Leviticus. Now notice, in both Moses' writing to Israel in Leviticus, in the book of Leviticus, and Peter's writing to Christians, the only reason or motivation given for the people to live holy is simply because God is holy.
All right now. Yes.
Oh, stay with me just for a minute. See, Moses simply says, for I am the Lord your God. This is what he tells the people. For I am the Lord your God. Consecrate yourselves, therefore, and be holy, for I am holy. Yes. And Peter says, but like the Holy One who called you, be holy yourselves also in all your behavior, because it is written, you shall be holy, for I am holy. Yes. Now notice, Moses does not go into a great dissertation on why the people should live holy. Peter does not give detailed explanations on why the people should live holy. But it simply says, be holy, because God is holy. Yeah. Yeah. So if people come up to you and ask why you have to live so holy, just say, because God is holy. Yeah. You ain't got to go into no long explanation. You ain't got to get all theological. When they say, well, why can't you go with me over here? No one would know because God is holy.
All right.
Why you got to love everybody? Because God is holy. I was going to say something, but I'm getting in trouble. But I ain't going to say that this morning. Because God is holy. Because you see, under that umbrella of holiness is a lot of tentacles. Your behavior, your reaction, the sacrifice. There's a whole lot of tentacles that comes from that umbrella of living holy. Because God is holy. We don't have to get so deep when people ask why you do certain things for God. Because God is holy. See, many times we just make things too complicated. But this is really simple when I begin to look at this. And I was wondering why God led me to this. Because both Moses and Peter, they write, be holy, because God is holy. It's really no simple or even more complicated than that. Why I got to live holy? Because God is holy. It's really logical. And I like logical things, y'all. Y'all know I just like things logical. Every now and then, sometimes the Bible is deep. And you can just start looking and searching and looking for things. And sometimes it takes me all over here, all the way over here, and all the way over here. But then there are times when it's just so logical that even somebody like my limited understanding can get it. Be holy, because I am holy. But really, what does it mean to be holy? You see, really, that's all we need to say. But since we are people who want explanations, I thought I'd just try to break it down just a little bit to let you know what it really means to be holy and why we need to live holy. That word holy means holiest, and it means sacred. It means pure. It means blameless. It means ceremonially consecrated. It also means different. Likeness of nature with the Lord, because different from the world. To be called holy means God says you are different. Now understand, different, but not better. Oh, we got to get that. Oh, there is a difference. Because many times we walk around like we are better than someone else. God never said we were better than anyone. But he did say we should be different from the world. That word holy, it was used to denote the most holy portion of the temple. Yes. A place sacred to God and not to be profane. In Exodus 26 and 33 says, you shall hang up the veil under the clasps, and shall bring in the ark of the testimony there within the veil. And the veil shall serve for you as a partition between the holy place and the holy of holies. Y'all remember on Day of Atonement, the chief priest would come into the Holy of Holies, but the Holy of Holies, it was separated from the rest of the temple. Because behind the Holy of Holies, that's where the presence of God would come. And it was to be kept separated from everything else. Because anything that came within the Holy of Holies had to be consecrated. It had to be pure. Even the chief priest had to have specific instructions. He had to be holy. Because if he was not holy and he went in, he was not coming out alive. Everything had to be clean. Everything had to be pure. Everything had to be sanctified when it came in contact with that which is holy. And God has said that his creation, his people, are to be holy. This temple, this sanctuary is holy. That's why I get on people so much when they start running around and playing here and saying things and joking. This place is holy. It's consecrated. And that's why I pray constantly for anything, any sinful residue that may have entered in this sanctuary, because it is holy. And God is not going to be in a place that is not holy. That's why every now and then I anoint this place. Because it's holy. It is to be kept holy before God. And then that word holy also meant set apart for God. Let me say it again. Set apart for God. To be, as it were, exclusively his. Exclusively his. In Luke 2 and 23 it says this, as it is written in the law of the Lord, every firstborn male that opens the womb shall be called holy to the Lord. Back in the Old Testament, every firstborn child, they were dedicated to the Lord because they belonged to the Lord to be used exclusively for his purpose. And when God calls you holy today, you children of God, that means you are to be used exclusively for his purpose. You're holy. And then in Mark 1 and 24, it says, just then there was a man in their synagogue with an unclean spirit, and he cried out, saying, what business do we have with each other? Jesus of Nazareth, have you come The demons knew and acknowledged that Jesus was the Holy One of God. They knew he was set apart for a specific purpose for God. And in this case, he came to give salvation to the world. You see, and this is what blew my mind. God gives no distinctions between Jesus' holiness and our holiness. Oh, you ought to be shouting right now. God says he sees no distinction between the holiness that Jesus had and has and the holiness of his people. You know, there's no levels of holiness. You either holy or you're not. You're either pregnant or you're not. But God says, look, I see you as holy just as I see my son as holy. Oh, good God Almighty. The same holiness. There's no levels. I'm on my first level of holiness. No, you're not. Good God Almighty. Let me hurry. So that word holy is precious. It means sanctified, set apart for God's use, exclusive use. That means God can use you however he wants. Because we are holy. So why should I live holy, or can I live holy? Look what Peter says in 1 Peter 1 and 15. He says, but like the Holy One who called you, be holy yourselves also in all your behavior. Look what he says. He says, but like the Holy One who called you, be holy yourselves also in all your behavior. He said all your behavior. He said, just like the Holy One who called you, that's God. He said, just like God, you be holy in all your behavior. Peter puts no qualifiers on that verse. There's no ifs, there's no buts. He said, be holy in all your behavior, just like God. That's a very high standard. But can I tell you, God don't make no junk.
Come on now. All right. He don't. Hallelujah.
Peter says, like the Holy One who called you in all your behavior. Peter said the standard is God's. And the requirement in all we say, all we do, and all we think is holiness.
Yeah.
All we say, all we do, all we think, how we act, how we react. The standard has been set, and God has set the standard. We try to bring down the standard, John. But God said, no, I want you to come up to my level. Oh, good God Almighty. Because we say, well, it's too hard to come up. Have you ever tried to walk up the hill? See, it's more difficult trying to get up the hill than coming down. Because you take all your muscles. And if you're carrying something, it gets really heavy. That's why you can't carry all your problems up the glory. You got to let them do some of that junk. All your problems, all your issues. It's hard to get the glory. You're weighed down with problems and issues and pride. Good God Almighty, help me with the Spirit. So the question becomes, this standard, so how can I really attain it? Can I really obtain this? Because on the surface, holiness just looks too big for me. I ain't gonna mess with that holiness stuff. That's just too big. It just looks too big for someone like me. Until we look at the next scripture in verse 16. Peter says, because it is written, you shall be holy, for I am holy. Peter says, be holy in all your behavior like God who called you. But the next verse, Peter gives the reason why we must be holy and why we can't be holy. Peter says, because it is written, or because God says, you shall be holy, for I am holy. You see, for the child of God, there's no debate debate, y'all. Come on, can I just take it? For the child of God, that's you and me if you accepted Christ. There is no debate if we should be holy or live holy. There's no discussion. No. He said, you shall be holy, for I am holy, because it is written. Every time you say, when you tell me it is written in Scripture, oh, that means you can stand on it. Because when Jesus was in the wilderness, he rebuked Satan. Every time he said, it is written. He went to the Word. He went to the Word. It is written. It is written. It is written. Every time you put it is written before Scripture, you can just chase away all type of demonic stuff. You better start using your weapons. Good God Almighty. Peter said, because it is written, you shall be holy, for I am holy. God says, my children will be holy because their Father is holy. Woo! I'm probably the only excited today. He said, God says, be holy because I'm holy. Be holy because my Father's holy. Let me put it this way. I remember talking to my mother one time when I was grown and telling me. She said, before you were born, there was a debate on what your name would be. She wanted to name me Kenneth Earl. And my daddy wanted to name me Lawrence Earl. And obviously my mama went out. She wanted to name me Kenneth Earl. And my daddy wanted to name me Lawrence Earl. There was debate, there was discussion, she said, on what my name would be. But notice, there was never any debate on what my last name would be. Okay, Mom. There was never any debate on what my surname, that's my last name. There was never any debate on what my surname would be, what my last name would be. My last name would be Dawson. My last name would be Dawson because my dad is named. See, there was no discussion. There was no discussion, but my last name would be because my daddy's last name. They could debate on the first name, but it was just assumed my last name would be Dawson because my daddy's name is Dawson. Okay. There was no debate. Now, in some countries, the surname becomes first. I believe in Africa and some European countries, your last name comes first. Your surname is first. But whether it's first or last, it's the surname that we are identified with. Because I meet people all the time and I tell them my name is Dawson. Oh, are you related to the Dawsons in Alabama? Because my dad is from Alabama. Are you related to these Dawsons? Because I'm identified with my parents and my ancestors by my surname or my last name, Dawson. So similarly, God says of his children, be holy because I am holy. There's no debate. There's no discussion. The assumption is you're going to be holy because my dad is holy. Your dad is holy. Why your name is holy? Because my dad is holy. Duh. Why your name holy? Why you holy? Because my dad is holy. I don't understand why this is a debate. said, be holy, for I am holy. At conversion, when you accept Christ, you are made holy because God sees you now through the blood of Christ. Now, here's where it gets a little sticky. Now that I've been made holy, there are now requirements and expectations placed upon me that were never there before. This is why you got to live holy. Woo, good God Almighty. Look what Peter says in verse 14. He says, as obedient children, do not be conformed to the former lusts which were yours in your ignorance. Before we came to Christ, Peter says, you were ignorant of the requirement, we could fulfill it anyway, of holiness, but now you have been imputed, or you have been credited with holiness. Now that you have been credited with holiness, the requirements for you are the same requirements that Jesus had and still has for holiness, which is simply perfection. Oh, yes, it is. Because you have been imputed with holiness. You have been credited with holiness. That's never did. But when we accept Christ, his holiness became holiness in your holiness. But the Bible says, whosoever much is given, much required. But now my requirements for living has changed. I can't go where I used to go. I can't say what I used to say. I can't do what I used to do. I got to hold my tongue on a lot of things. I got to pray about a lot of things. But make no mistake about it. The standard is the same as it was when Moses spoke to the children of Israel in the wilderness, when Peter spoke to the first Christians, the Christians here in first century Palestine, and it's the same today. Holiness. The standard is perfection. Oh, yes, it is. Oh, I'm in scripture, y'all. That's why God says, be holy, because I am holy. God said, you now represent me. Oh, yes, he does. And I can't have my children acting and in their own kind of way. I can't have my children just going any place that's going to bring down my name. You see, now we represent God. Just like when I was born, the name of Dawson was imputed on me or credited to me. Now what came with that was expectations that I would never defame the name of Dawson or do things or say things to disappoint my parents. Now understand, yes, we have to grow and expand into holiness. But that does not change the requirements. Oh, yes. I know this is right. I know this is right. It does not change the requirement. We have to grow. Yes, there's a sanctification process. But the standard is still 100% sinless. It is. I didn't write it. Oh, this is in the Bible. And this is why nobody can get into heaven without accepting Christ. Because nothing defiled can get into the third heaven. That's what God is. Nothing defiled can get there. It's never been there, and it'll never be there. And that's why in Revelation, when it says that God will have a new heaven and a new earth, that's why he got to burn everything in the earth before he bring the new heaven and the new earth down, because right now it's just too corrupt. See, oh, good God, oh, thank you, Holy Spirit. The new heaven and the new earth has to dock on holiness.
Come on now. Come on now.
It cannot dock on anything sinful. That's why God, Jesus, is going to burn up everything. Because it has to be purged. Everything has to be burned. It has to be clean. So when the bride and the groom get together, woo, here God. We got to be sacred in all we say and all we do. God said, be holy because I'm holy. Because nothing impure can come into the presence of God. That's why the Holy of Holies back in the Old Testament, nothing can come through the veil. It was not sanctified. That was not purified. That was not covered with the blood of the goats. Couldn't come in there and not live. That's why we cannot go into the presence of the Lord right now like we are. Because we ain't coming out. Now listen, Paul's spirit, Paul said he had encounters with the Lord. His spirit did, but not his flesh. Oh, this ain't even on my paper, but this is good. All right. That's why when we get to heaven, when we get to glory, my flesh can't go. Oh, no, it can't. I don't care how good we think. Because it's polluted. It's defiled. And it has to be pure. We represent God. If we got just 1 ounce of sin, it disqualifies us. Woo, from coming into his presence. That's powerful. But it makes sense because he's perfect. Because if he lowered the standard, he's no longer God. What makes us want to serve him is because he's perfect. Oh my God. Nothing defiled can go to the presence of God. We have to be holy. Not 99%, not 99.9, 100%. When we used to, years ago, when we used to witness, we used to use this example of how everything has to be sacred. Everything has to be purely clean. Imagine if you invite your friend over for breakfast, and you know your friend likes omelets, so you're going to cook your friend an omelet. So your friend is in the dining room, you go in the kitchen, and you start, you need 3 eggs to make an omelet. So you go in the refrigerator and all you have is 3 eggs. You say, perfect, I got 3 eggs. So you crack the first egg and put it in the bowl. You crack the second egg and put it in the bowl. And you crack the third egg. What you see in that third egg is a little piece of brine or rottenness in that third egg. Now, what you can do is, you can still put that third egg in the bowl, mix it up with the other 2 eggs, throw the eggs in the skillet, put your cheese on the omelet, ham, whatever you roll, take it out, put it in the plate, put some salt and pepper on there, and you look at that omelet, and it's nice and yellow, it smells good, it's fluffy, and you can serve it to your friend, and they'll never know that there's a piece of rotten egg within that omelet. But you will never do that. Because no matter how pretty that egg, that omelet looks on the outside, no matter how good it smells, you know that there's a jot of rottenness within that omelet, and it's not worthy, it's not suitable to be served. God says the same thing to us. I don't care how much you pay your tithes. I don't care if you make every church. I don't care if you get to every Bible study. I don't care if you give to the poor. I don't care if you forgive everybody. I don't care if you don't steal at work. I don't care if you're punch in at the exact time. You've never been late. I don't care if whatever you do, somewhere in you, if you ever just had a bad thought, that disqualifies you. If you are not suitable for God.
I know that's right.
Oh, good God Almighty. God says, you be holy because I'm holy. That means you be perfect because I am perfect. tell you, God would never tell you to do something. He knew that you were not capable of it.
All right.
How do we live holy? Look what Peter says. Peter says in verse 13. He says, therefore, prepare your minds for action. Keep sober in spirit. Fix your hope completely on the grace to be brought to you at the revelation of Jesus Christ. You see, we cannot come to God on our own. It's through the grace of Jesus. It's through the blood of Christ that makes us holy. But watch this. Look what I noticed. I noticed this. Peter says, therefore, prepare your mind for action. Keep sober in spirit. Fix your hope completely on the grace to be brought to you at the revelation of Jesus Christ. Look. Peter does not say to live holy. He does not say to pray more. He does not say to study. He does not say to fellowship. But Peter says, prepare your minds for action. Keep sober in spirit. Fix your hope completely on the grace to be brought to you at the revelation of Jesus Christ. Peter says, for us to live holy, no. You can't pray. You should be praying. And you should be reading. You should be fellowshipping. But in order to be living holy, Peter says what we need to do is affix ourselves on the coming of Jesus Christ. Oh, good God Almighty. Somebody missed it. Peter says, look, if we keep our eyes and our minds and hearts prepared for the second coming of Christ, then we are able to live holy, because when I know my Christ is coming for me, and I'm not going to have any more pain, no more trouble. You see, I know my future looks good, y'all. And when I know my future looks good, I can put up with a lot of mess in my life. See, I can put up with a lot of people, and I can still live holy, because I know one day my Christ is coming back. So Peter says, look, you prepare your mind and fix yourself on the revelation of Christ coming back. That's what gets us through and makes us and allows us to live holy no matter what's happening in my life. So when the kids are acting up, oh, Jesus coming back. When my health is not where I want it, I know my Jesus is coming back. Can I tell you as pastor? Oh, I want to say some things to some people at some time, but I got to live holy, and I can live holy until I say, one day my Jesus is coming back. Woo! When your finances look shaky, woo! I know my Jesus is coming back. You see, my future looks good. It looks great. So I can put up with a lot of mess. Oh, can I tell you, on my job sometimes, I get tired, I get frustrated, people get on my nerves at times, but I know at 5 o'clock, I'm going to a place of peace. I'm going to a place where I'm going to be loved. I'm going home to my snuggle bubble, and I can put up with a lot of mess. You see, I can put up with my boss mess, because I know what's waiting for me at home. I can put up with the mess of the world, because I know someday. I can live holy. I can sacrifice what I need to. I can bite my tongue when I need to. Even when I know I'm right, I can bite my tongue, because I know something. My Jesus, I'm going to glory. Good God Almighty. I can put up with the sleepless nights. Woo! I can put up with being called all this and all that. I can put up with being frustrated. You can. You can live holy. Watch this. You can even suffer holy. Woo! Good God Almighty. Yes, you can. You can suffer holy. Because you know someday, woo, He's going to wipe away every tear.
Yes, sir.
You can learn how to suffer holy. know what my outlook looks like. My future looks good, y'all.
Right. Ah, glory to God.
Woo!
All right.
That's why I can love
Yes. Yes.
the way I love.
Amen.
People say, man, you act like you ain't never upset. You always seem happy. You always seem joyous. Woo, if they only knew about it.
Yes.
But I can bite my tongue.
Yes.
And I can love. And I can react in love.
Hallelujah.
Even when I'm not being loved.
Yes.
Because I know my Savior lives.
Yes.
And he's coming to get me.
Yes. Yes, he will. Thank God.
Woo!
Yes, God. Hallelujah.
So I can go forth
Yes.
and serve him.
Thank you.
When I don't feel like serving him. Watch this, when I don't feel like preaching.
Come on now.
When I don't feel like studying. I can go forth.
Yes.
Because I know it's not about my glory, it's about his glory.
Yes.
And I know that someday God said, be holy because I'm holy.
Yes.
You can do it because your daddy's holy.
Yes.
And you got that same DNA that your daddy got. Oh, it's in you. Oh, it's in you. You got the same patience. You got the same love. Watch this, you got the same authority. You got the same power. You got to put that in you, or you can live holy.
Yes.
Daddy holy. Stop lowering the standard. Say, Pastor, you don't know what's going on in my life. Look, I'm not minimizing your problems. I'm not saying you don't have issues. But I'm saying through the issues, we still have to live holy. Woo!
Ooh, yeah.
Ooh. It's going to be over soon.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Good God Almighty.
Oh, yes.
Oh, you promised me that it's going to be over soon. Woo! Don't make me run on the floor Sunday. Woo! This thing gonna be over soon. Your issues won't be issues no more. Oh, I know I gotta go. But your sickness won't be sickness no more. Your worries won't be worries no more. You won't.
Thank you.
Woo. As we stand for the invitation.